hapa wakati wa mapumziko.
Kwanza tunamshukuru Mungu, tuko tayari kwa ajili ya mchezo wa leo, lakini kitu ambacho tunazungumza sana na wachezaji ni kuwapa morali, motisha kwamba hata kama tumeshuka sio ukate tamaa, lazima upambanie maisha yako. Mpira ndio ajira yako. Kwa hiyo yawezekano usibaki KMC Championship, lakini kaonekana na timu nyingine. Kwa hiyo ni fursa, lazima apambane, kila mtu atoe alichonacho, kwa sababu mpira ndio ajira yake.
Unafikiri michezo hii ni muhimu kiasi gani kukupatia funzo kuelekea championship?
Ya, tumejifunza hapa, ndo tunaangalia kama KMC viongozi wapo nafuatilia nani ambaye kidogo anaweza kubaki naye kwenye msimu unaokuja kwa ajili ya championship, na vile vile wachezaji wenyewe wanalitambua hilo kwamba inawezekana sibaki hapa kapata nafasi kwenda sehemu nyingine, lakini vile vile kama benchi la ufundi sisi bado tumekata tamaa, tunahitaji
nimerudi ndugu zangu,
sisi tusogee juu kidogo. Kwa hiyo hii mechi ya kwetu sisi ni muhimu, tumejipanga kweli kweli,
lazima tupambane
mpaka dakika ya mwisho.
Tuko vizuri. Watu wa Yanga
namshukuru Mwenyezi Mungu mwingi wa rehema ambaye ametupa.
Ndio mechi inaanza hiyo kaka. Mechi ya Azam ya Yanga na
katika yule mpambano wetu
Yanga na Azam.
Mechi muhimu sana, ni mechi.
Watu wa Yanga mpo?
Kama watu wanavyofikiri. Nishasema jana kwenye press. Ni mechi ambayo ina vitu viwili.
Hamna anayekimbia hapa kaka, tuko pamoja. Nataka nione Yanga wanapofungwa tena na Azam. Utabiri, unaweza kaika utabiri wako chini hapo.
Kwa hiyo naamini kabisa itakuwa ni mechi yenye ushindani, lakini kwa kulielewa
saa 10 kamili mechi inaanza.
Umuhimu hasa wa mechi hii tumechukua kwa kipekee zaidi kuhakikisha kwamba tunafanya vizuri na mwisho yote kupata matokeo yaliyokuwa mazuri.
Ngumu au rahisi kiasi gani?
Kaka, mechi ya Simba atuoneshe bwana, tujitahidi tu. Watu wa Simba, mimi mwenyewe ni Simba, lakini tuoneshe Yanga kidogo, tuone makosa waliyofanya. Sisi wote ni wamoja.
Lakini sasa hivi tunafikiria kile ambacho
sawa. Wanasema Yanga bingwa. Jamani, tuendelee kushare link hizo. Jitahidi tushare jamani, tuwe wengi.
Shukrani. Asante sana. Asalamu alaykum.
Kwanza tunamshukuru Mungu, tuko tayari kwa ajili ya mchezo.
Makulola, mambo tunayoingiliana ndugu yangu. Munisamee. Tuko pamoja, lakini sasa hivi ndo nimerudi moja kwa moja. Sasa hivi nitakuwa naonesha kombe la dunia. Nimerudi kwa kishindo cha wakoma.
Mwanzoni amesema ni muda wa wachezaji kuenjoy na kuonesha walichonacho, lakini mwishoni amesema anapambana hadi dakika ya mwisho.
Hadi
mwisho.
Haya, anapambana tu kwa
ajili ya anapambana kutunza cheti chake cha ukocha.
Kuojesha. Sawa, kama anatunza cheti chake cha ukocha. Inawezekana kwa sisi ambao tumesikia.
Sawa Makulola, wewe subscribe tu kaka.
Unajua kocha ali bondia anapopiga ngumi ya kidevu. Yaani kama kavurugwa kwamba ana uwezo wa kupata pointi za kumbakiza kwa daraja. Sijamsikia kama akikiri kashuka daraja.
Amekiri mwanzo kabisa, akasema amekiri kwa ajili ya wachezaji kuonesha nini.
Anyway, ndio uhalisia huo ambao tunao na unatufikisha sisi katika tamati hapa ya uchambuzi katika mwanzo kabisa. Tunakwenda katika matangazo ya moja kwa moja, tutaenda uwanjani kuangalia dakika 45 mechi 8 za mwanzo kwa siku ya leo.
Mechi 8 zinachezwa leo. Kama mniambie huko kama kamera iko vizuri, nimeseti vizuri, mniambie tupate matokeo.
Tunaamini katika uwezo na kipaji chako. Kila tone la juhudi zako ni msingi thabiti wa safari uliyoianzisha. Tunaona ustawi unaostahili juhudi zako. Tunayaamini maono yako. Lile unaloliona linawezekana. Hakuna cha kukuzuia. Sisi hatuangalii ulipo sasa pekee, bali tunapaona pale unapotaka kufika. Ukiwa na sapoti sahihi, ndoto itapata uhalisia, kwa sababu NBC Bank tunakuona mbali familia. Safari yako nasi inatuhusu.
Kwa Korinto official, sawa kaka. Yanga tunamsubiri tuone atashinda leo au vipi. Yanga amewaachia Azam. Yanga ametukimbia.
Tumeshinda sisi.
Kwa Yanga unakimbia, unamkimbiaje Simba wewe? Au ndo unaogopa?
Karibu nawe.
Watu wa Yanga naomba muongee jamani, kwa nini mlikimbia?
Yenye uwezo mkubwa.
Hapo mmekimbia mnakutana nao tena.
JAC Motors.
Leo ndo unapigwa nje ndani leo. Leo ndio matuta.
Maroli kulingana na mahitaji yako. Hii hapa JAC T8, chaguo sahihi.
Leo Yanga hakuna cha matuta wala nini.
Engine ya diesel 2.0 CTI na mfumo wa 4x4 kwa nguvu, ufanisi na uhuru kwa safari salama. Pia tunayo maroli ya tani 3, tani 5 na tani 10 kwa kazi nzito, zikiwa na engine ya Cummins na Wager. Magari yetu yana uimara, matumizi mazuri ya mafuta na uwezo wa kufanya kazi kwenye mazingira mbalimbali. JAC Motors, mshirika wa maendeleo ya biashara yako. Wasiliana nasi leo kwa namba za simu 0693560212 au 0713161888. Tunapatikana Instagram @JAC Motors TZ. JAC Motors, tunakuendesha kuelekea mafanikio.
Halo, naitwa Magembe, ni muuzaji maarufu wa hardware.
Oh, Magembe, karibu sikuhudumie.
Shananga Group. Sisi ni wauzaji na wasambazaji wa vifaa vya ujenzi nchini na nchi jirani kwa wenye hardware, miradi midogo hata mikubwa. Tupo kwa ajili yako. Karibu jipatie nondo zenye ubora wa BS500, mabati ya mitindo tofauti, bomba za chuma na kadhalika. Pia Shananga Group ni wazalishaji, wauzaji na wasambazaji wa bidhaa zake zenye chapa ya Oles. Bidhaa kama Oles Gypsum Board zenye ubora hali ya juu, Oles Welding Materials, Oles Walkwood yenye mng'ao halisi na nyingine nyingi. Weka oda yako ya vifaa vya ujenzi na tutakufikia popote ulipo nchini kupitia matawi yetu. Kwa msaada au maulizo, tafadhali tupigie kwa namba 0756500040. Shananga Group, fahari wa ujenzi.
Mkuu wa shule ya sekondari
Wakorinto sidhani kama leo mnampiga Yanga leo.
Tanzania JWTZ iliyoko Mwenge Lugalo, Dar es Salaam anawatangazia nafasi za masomo mwaka 2026-2027 katika ngazi zifuatazo: kidato cha 5 2026.
Wakorinto leo mtoboi baba.
Sayansi, sanaa na biashara. Program ya Pre-Form 5 itaanza tarehe 16 Februari.
Makulola mzee, tutapambana, tutaonana mzee. Sijali, sasa tutaonesha mechi zote kabisa, tuko pamoja.
Na shule ya msingi kuanzia darasa la kwanza
alafu tunakuja kivingine zaidi. Tutazunguka hadi kwenye mabango huko.
Pamoja na masomo ya amali. Pia shule
kwenye mabanda yote ya mpira tutakuwa nazunguka huko. Tupo kwenye program moja kubwa sana ndugu zangu. Nyie ndio watu wangu wenyewe, bila nyie Mr. Boy. Tuendelee kushare link.
Kwa mawasiliano zaidi piga simu namba 0785657625, 0715315514 na 0777575989. Kwa barua pepe makongo secondary25@gmail.com. Instagram Makongo JWTZ High School. Makongo JWTZ, elimu ni ulinzi, wote mnakaribishwa.
Yaani nawamisi sana. Mimi sina mifugo yangu.
Anko,
Lazima kesho nije niwaone. Sana.
Mbona kila mtu ndani leo yuko busy?
Hiyo yote inatokana na T-Fiber Triple Hub kutoka TTCL.
Kazi mko hapa. Lazima niende nikaniunge.
Ni maajabu ya T-Fiber Triple Hub kutoka TTCL. Tunaposema kifurushi kimoja huduma tatu, ni kweli. Unapata internet ya nyumbani, ofisini, simu yako ya mkononi.
Mariam Rashidi. Kwani jakaa vizuri ndugu zangu? Wewe tukiingia uwanjani hapo ndo tujue nawekaje. Maana mimi naona iko vizuri. Mariam Rashidi, naona iko vizuri mama. Mariam Rashidi, nisingekosea bwana. Mariam Rashidi.
Sasa hivi.
Wow, umepata. T-Fiber Triple Hub.
Watu wa Yanga, tabirini hapa leo mnapigwa au leo mnashinda? Tabirini wenyewe. Mimi sitaki kutabiri, maana ningetabiri mimi na nijua mdomo wangu. Jitabirieni wenyewe. Leo mnapigwa ngapi?
Ndio, sisi tuna uhakika
na Azam utakuwa na hasira sana nyewe kwa sababu wamecheza matuta.
Umechoka na giza la ghafla.
Wewe mzee mkaona kama itakuwa nani? Azam utakuwa na watakuwa na mchecheto sana leo.
Ni imara.
Ila bwana Yanga kutukimbia,
vya kuaminika na vina ubora mkubwa. Tunaweka mfumo wako haraka na kwa usahihi.
Fly sana jamani. Azam kutukimbia sisi. Fly sana. Karibuni.
Hakika.
Game ni saa 10 kamili. Bado dakika 8 game ianze.
Tuna umeme hapa nyumbani.
Leo msisahau kuna mechi 8. Ligi kuu kuna mechi 8. Simba yenyewe inacheza leo lakini tutapambana na Yanga.
Huduma ya uhakika kwa biashara na familia yako. Tunapatikana madukani nchi nzima. Chagua Oceanic Solar.
Mariam Rashidi, nawe kasubiri kwanza tuone uwanjani utakuwaje. Tuangalie pitch. Kama Olise. Si unajua mimi kama Olise. Lazima niangalie pitch na kaaje.
A very good afternoon to you. Welcome to the beautiful
sasa wameanza na Kiswahili chao.
It is the place where what is coming on Dar es Salaam derby is going to be played. It's round 28 of the NBC Tanzanian Premier League. This time round is going to be pitting
wameanza na jamaa. Sasa Kiingereza itakuwaje? Mimi nitakuwa na tafsiri bwana. Mimi nitakuwa mpenja. Jamani wajinga sana.
The one-time champions in a match in which it is largely expected that young Africans will be fighting to try and increase their lead in the Premier League standings with a total of 66 points at the moment. They are leading their closest challenger Simba by 2 points, but Azam is third with 58 points.
Azam if
there's any fans who are watching this match, more intently, it should be the Simba fans who are hoping that Azam will do them a favor and get the points of young Africans so that they can get closer to them. But that is only the mission. The game is played in 90 minutes at the beautiful stadium that also hosted the
mimi sielewa jamaa wanafanyaje wanaonesha hivi. Wanataka kutafsiri hivyo kwa Kiingereza.
Kenya, Uganda and Tanzania.
Nisamee.
And this is that new complex that is hosting that match today. A lot of talk around Tanzania and especially around Dar es Salaam about this match in which the Young Africans club is putting their best players in the game to be able to try and get 3 more points. It's just about 2 more rounds of the NBC Tanzania Premier League remaining to the end of it all. And with 66 points, they feel that they're very well poised to be able to win it. But whether or not they falter in the last 2 or 3 games is a story for another day. They currently are doing very well. And they are largely expected to dominate this. This morning, the
Yanga
fans are trickling into the new complex at the Amman Stadium, and they were getting ready to be able to watch the match as well. So yes, this celebration expectation
Azam,
the team taking the win today. But football is football, and 90 minutes of it all is what will determine whether they get it or not. I am Bernardo Tieno, and I'm in the company of Chico Lawi to take you through the 90 minutes of this game.
Swala sauti.
Naomba jamani, these are the colors of Africa. These are the colors of football. Yellow to those fans will be the colors of success.
Look at this younger group, the fans. They're in a celebratory mode. They expect some great action. Interestingly enough, you will notice a lot of red as well in the stands. This is simply because Azam are in action, but Yanga leading the table 2 points ahead of their arch rivals. Simba will
ni ligi kuu hii. Ni ligi kuu kwa watu ambao mjui ni ligi kuu. Azam anatakiwa shinde, Yanga anatakiwa shinde.
But it is not to say Azam are not into this one. They're in it to win it because with 3 games to go, they are still well within reach of that title. However,
well, that's how cruel soccer can be as well. That fans of another team altogether can come in to support you just so that you can beat this team that is already poised to win the league in order to increase their chances. But the referee, Mr. Dismas, is bringing them onto the field for this kickoff.
Yanga, unaweza kujitabiria hapo leo utakuwa na goli ngapi hapo? Utashinda goli ngapi? Ingawa najua Azam kidogo
FC fans
mtacheza sana kwa hofu leo.
Yanga fans who think that because they have won 14 games at the Benjamin Mkapa Stadium, they can also win this as well. And have an envious record of 50 domestic and regional titles. Talking about Yanga, and one of the most decorated clubs, like I said, in East Africa. In fact, the first Tanzanian club to reach a CAF Confederations Cup final when they beat Masoro Gallants 4-1, and also they faced Usma of Algeria in the finals. But today they're putting their best men forward, the men who have done duty for them, including those who have scored the most number of goals. Alan Okello is the Ugandan striker in the side who will be given the responsibility of getting those goals. We'll tell you more about that when we come into the lineup altogether. But it's going to be a very, very explosive clash here on resumption in an attempt to try and
wametuloga
in Premier League.
The
reverse fixture of this game ended in a 0-0 draw, so they still will be trying to test the qualities and the depths of both sides today. They've got in that team Duka Buya as well from Kenya. It's a star-studded lineup, in my opinion, that will be taking on today's game. So brace yourself for a very interesting clash here. Game that might also be, lined up with speed as well. Jigu Jara will be the man who will be in goal. The Malian goalkeeper has been very strong.
Nashinda kubadilisha lugha kwa sababu natumia Azam.
The men who have scored the goals here,
na mnajua Azam walikuwa na miusho. Kwa naomba mnivumilie kwa kiasi hicho ndugu zangu.
Has got 2 man of the match awards in the game so far, so he's going to be relied on.
Tuone na leo watakimbiana.
But Alan Okello is about to score the most number of goals, 11 in total, and obviously will be the man they're relying on up at the front. The captain is Bakari Nondo Mwamnyeto, 2 goals to his credit, helping out on the Yanga side. On the other side is Lusajo.
Kamera nimeweka vizuri ndugu zangu.
Kamera nimeweka vizuri. Naona vizuri. Dismas is the man who will be taking us into the 90 minutes of this. What's your expectation, Chico?
Wale ambao msubscribe.
I guess you think
Simba anacheza leo na Kibwa Sugar. Simba anacheza leo na Kibwa Sugar. Nitakuwa nawapa majibu.
Absolutely, especially when you look at those stands, you see a lot of beautiful colors there, but on the pitch it is going to be all about the action as these two teams get into what could be a title decider. In fact,
unajua mpira kuchezeaga tu Zanzibar, lazima watangaze kwa Kiingereza.
If you could say,
yep.
Mpira kuchezewa Zanzibar lazima watangaze kwa Kiingereza. Sijajua shida ni nini.
58 points makes them come very close there. They've got Jepte Bola
Malenda
in that lineup as well, plus the evergreen Aish
ni Azam na Yanga. Ligi kuu hii jamani.
Career. Alan Okello got himself into the bar of the batch again and got himself 1 million Tanzania shillings for that, and not the first time he's gotten himself into that situation. 5 man of the matches awards that he has gotten for his absolutely brilliant work in the young African side, scoring the goals, and he's got 11 goals and 7 assists in total. It makes him, very well poised to take an award like that he merits very, very well in this one. Mwamnyeto is the captain of the side.
Tuone Dube leo.
He led from the front, scoring 2 goals. So it's a star-studded
Yanga. Watu wa Yanga mjitabirie wenyewe magoli yenu. Mpira unaanza hapa. Mjitabirie wenyewe magoli yenu.
4 consecutive titles that
unaweza kaandika hapa magoli mangapi mkashinda. Emmanuel wa soka. Kaka Emmanuel. Mpira umeanza jamani ndugu zangu. Mpira umeanza.
Of a mismatch, but we are into the game now. And 90 minutes will decide what happens here. But the touches makes it difficult for control with Prince Mpumelelo Dube coming in for a tackle. The Zimbabwean, who formerly played for us for 4 seasons, moved to the Young African side. Tells you about just how fluid the market is, especially in the Tanzania League, with players switching places, especially in the big 3 teams in the country.
Absolutely, some of them winning titles with other teams of position and coming into this one, hoping to do their former employers a favor, especially some who find themselves plying their trade for Azam.
It gives you some bargaining power then if you can move from one team to the other. I mean, you only have to show them the offer letter and say, look, they're trying to get me for this, and you never know, you increase your value a bit. But yes, the beautiful game is played in a little bit of speed in Tanzania, and so is the So is the market as well, equally very fast in transfers. The young African side bring it from left to right. They are going to be relying on Okello Alan. Spread it back into the center. And was already making headway. Good ball right into the center. Looking for a chance for a shot here. The turn not yet done. I think Prince Mpumela Ladube had the chance to strike. Decided to try and get it to a better place for that strike. It doesn't quite work out in his favor. And now the Azam side have a chance to build. Normally when you have a chance like that, or maybe we're just watching too much of the World Cup, is that you would want them to strike when you are right in front of goal there, Chico.
Absolutely. You had a chance to turn around and probably hit that one. Thought the better, seeing like 2 or 3 players right in front of him, realized that that shot would probably not make it past the meter and decided to turn back away from traffic. But by then, the close down was perfectly executed by Azam. Great piece of defending there.
Well, the left back is a man who's got a name similar to yours, Elias Lawi Lamekai. At once thought you were, just pulling my leg here, thinking that he was a relative of yours. But Lawi will be playing on the left side. Currently waiting to get the reception from this side. We have been given the formations as well, Chico. What's Azam playing and what's Yanga playing?
Interestingly enough, I'm looking at this formation, and you're going to keep your eye on Idi Suleiman Ali. He's playing out on the left flank, but he does love to drift in, overlap under, usually time and again, and he causes a lot of problems. You can see they're trying to find some movement from his teammates. A tricky player, this one, and it'll be very key for how Azam attack down that flank.
He went in a little bit too fast with Idi Suleimani Ali, the man who scored 8 goals so far for the Azam FC side, was trying to find Toto up at the front. Didn't work out for them. They have to rebuild it again. It's going to be a throw-in. A very, very fluid young African side that has a very, very rich history. Multiple titles that they have won in the FA as well. And have won the Tanzanian Premier League 31 times. It's a very good record to bring to just 3 matches that are remaining.
Baraka Samuel Simba anacheza sasa hivi, naye ameshaanza kucheza sasa hivi. Hata sijui Azam wamefanyaje hii issue zao. Simba anacheza sasa hivi. Jamani.
Almost picked up by Idi Suleiman Ali. But the speed
Yanga leo watakula nyingi.
for the forwards to catch up with. Sometimes you've got to time the run perfectly, Chico. And I think in this instance,
Leo mtoto naye haraka sio nini.
could not have gotten to that one as quickly as you'd have liked him to.
Yanga will be asking themselves some questions defensively, committing too early, giving a chance for the attacker to go past their fullbacks, right? Too much space between the fullback and the center half at that particular moment. Didn't get the shot he would have liked, but I'm sure just the taste and the opportunity will move and motivate them to believe that they could do this, especially on the back of that 3-2 win over them in the Federations Cup.
Maenda wanazingua kaka.
Watch out for the transitions. They're happening very fast. In the blink of a second, everything could change. Yanga bring it up now. A good touch by Kwasi Atohola Yao, the Ivory Coast player on the right flank, trying to look for an entry, finds it and tries to bring it to the center. Now forced to play just out and a little deep on the side here. The header trying to take it on the side to find a better shooting place. It's a nice way to permeate from the center. And Yanga seem to know exactly when to use it. I thought that sending it out on the left side was taking it away from the best place to be able to strike from, but this is another turn here. I could have got on the left hand, on the left foot, but he didn't. I think the flag is off for offside. Second time in about the same number of minutes, Chico, that Young Africans is opening up the Azam defense.
Oh, that's a tight one. Went a bit too early. Should have looked at the defender in front of him, run off the center half's shoulder, but what a deft touch to bring it down with his left foot. Couldn't finish it. Flag goes up anyway, but what a brilliant play right there.
Well, you must also give the kudos to the assistant referee, brilliantly figuring that out and giving it out for what it was, an offside position. Well, unlike in the World Cup where we have the technology doing all the job, I think that when you're doing it with the naked eyes, then it becomes a little bit difficult. A little touch again brings it out to the right side. So it's going to be very difficult for the left back on the Azam side to deal with the tweet attack that is coming in every time. This is an obvious foul with Pascal Gaudens Msindo, a man who grew up through the academy of Azam FC, just exerting a little bit too much pressure on the defender there and losing the chance to move forward. Kwasi Atohola. Yao. I think that no one has settled into the game, Chico. I think they are all still trying to find out the route to use. But we know that sometimes in a game like this, the team likes to go early and score an early goal and then come back and settle into it. What do you think about this one?
That would be ideal, wouldn't it? But this is just typical of a heavyweight bout in which the two fighters are trying to feel each other out, trying to see any strengths or weaknesses. And it's always going to be a tight first 15 minutes as teams settle in, but then we'll start to see one side exerting more confidence and more control, and that is when we start dreaming of those goals and some good opportunities.
Well, they try to get an early through ball on the left side, but too much power on the ball sends it too far off. They come again. This is lost in the midfield. Then an opportunity lost. Can Azam go for the counter-attack? They decide to build it with Idi Ali, and then on the left to Jean-Jacques Kamanga Ngita. Ngita tries to bring in a corner or a cross from the left side, but it's intercepted and goes out. Ibrahim Dula doing all the job there. They like to call him Baka. Ibrahim Dula Ahmed was in the way of that cross that was coming from Jean-Jacques Kamanga Ngita. The very first corner of the game will be to the Azam side. They are a little bit endowed with height as well. And it's going to be a right foot in swinger then. To try and angle it into goal. Just about 5 men in that box in the white jersey. This is a very good one. Right into the box, a long shot. Very optimistic. Hit it with the top of his boot. It's soaring above. You don't get any points for that one in a game of football. And I think that Faisal Salum Abdallah knows that as well. He's scored 14 goals so far. But not in that fashion. Not shooting from out there. But again, it's gone on to another corner. Defending a corner has usually become one of the most difficult things to do as well. And the coaches have begun telling their players very nicely that even throw-ins in that side is an opportunity for a score. A corner has been billed as a half goal many a time. I'm not exactly sure what Moikenda is discussing with the referee in a Specious Dismas. Very difficult to talk to the referees, but he's the captain. He's allowed to discuss. But this is beyond a discussion. This is a demonstration of two captains. The assistant does the right thing. He's blocking play to continue until that discussion is complete. So, they make a short one and bring it to the central place. This is a lovely shot this time round.
Akipiga tatu tu hizo.
This just goes over.
Yanga mnaongea mengine.
Lovely shot, wasn't it?
Kocha wa Azam asimama.
But they're giving an anxious moment. It's going to be end-to-end football here. The transition is very, very fast coming from one side to the other. Now it is in the hands of Idi Salimani of the Azam FC side. They need to move it from their half into the second, third, and into the final. And they also need to keep possession because losing possession here at the center is causing a very fast transition from Yanga, which is looking more dangerous on that transition. Back into the midfield. And picked up by Azam, who are working it from their side. They've got Twali Mohamed Nur, who was getting onto that ball. Now they take it all the way back to the goalkeeper, Zuberi Ford, another man who grew up through the academy. It's almost as if they listen to me and they're building now from the first third, but they've lost possession and now Yanga is in a hurry. And this hurry is the one that actually confuses the defenses. Lovely touch on that ball to send it off the field of play. With the strikers approaching, I think Sando had no alternative but to clear that off the line to make sure that they go for safety first. So Msindo does a good job there, Chico, doesn't he?
Absolutely. This is a midfield that's able with the ability to we have so many players with assists and goals to team that just come at you from anywhere. The creativity level is absolutely good, which is something that we enjoy throughout the game, especially as the game goes on. I have a feeling the first half will be feeling each other out, feeling in the dark to a certain extent, but we expect to see a lot more action and freedom of play in the second half. But for now, it is a great build-up in almost every single move that we're seeing for both sides, actually.
For Yanga again, picking it up and starting to build it up at the center. It comes to Mpia-Max Niegeli. They've also decided to play it slightly behind the lines and to build it from their side. Looking for the opportunities to use. Alan Okello is involved in it as well. They try to open up the wings now. And a left foot shot. And this one is touched nicely. But I think it takes a deflection for a corner.
Yanga wana hasira wa leo.
Transition coming on from the left side. You wouldn't imagine that he would bring in a very quick one like that. And it requires a quick striker as well to move right into the line to try and touch it into the net. But then doesn't work out that way. Chico does it.
Great cross. Great
Yanga leo wana hasira sana.
It is all about Zidane Ali, who is drifting from the right, drifting into the middle of the field, pulling for him, towards him, 2 or 3 opponents. They have to keep an eye on him. He is very good also going forward. So it's just a very tricky situation for this Azam side to handle players when they are fluid in their formation. And we'll be seeing a lot of that one as the game progresses. But what an opportunity that they have created. Max Nzageli is actually the man who was drifting into midfield time and again and then going wide. And it's causing a lot of problems because now you have to figure out if there's an open flank on the right. Do we then focus on the middle? Who takes up who?
Look at that blunder coming from the goalkeeper. Didn't take the ball too far off. Almost got caught in it. It's lucky that they have recovered the ball and now will build it up again from their side. Faisal Salom, the man who's got the largest number of goals for the Azam side in 14, is coming into the midfield to try and get the feed from there. Just tells you that it's not getting up at the front. Mkami is also involved in this. They're building now from their half. The coach must have told them the same thing, that you have to relax. Florenti Benge is the coach on the Azam side. Told them build it from one half to the other. Idi Salibani Ali getting onto possession again. There are always a different way in which you can approach your game. You may want to slow down your opponents. And I think that's what they've decided to do at the moment. Just slow down the younger opponents a bit. Stay on possession. But then you must also be good on your counter-attacks, because if you lose possession, if you're slow, then that becomes a big problem. It's been picked up by Alan Okello out on the right side and fouled. Salum Abdallah will be the guilty man there. It's going to be a free kick that will be given to the young African side. A very, very decorated club. That tackle was coming in from Hamid Mkami. Yeah. How quickly again? They've already latched onto the possession. Young Africans bringing it from the left to right. This game is being played at the Aman Stadium in Zanzibar. I've got a chance to see some good action here. Again, in front of goal, not finding the spaces to be able to shoot from. It's one thing that you will give to the Azam side in terms of placing the right men in that defense to just make sure that they don't give out a chance for a shorted goal from there.
Absolutely, we're seeing a lot of Yanga's play coming down from that left flank, getting a lot of prints into this action. Zozua is also creating a bit of problems between the two. They have 17 goals and 9 assists, so you can see why they are dependent on that side. The coach already talking about how he wants to see the combination of Aurelio and Zozua in how they move forward in attack. And here's another opportunity for them to do so.
He takes a little deflection here. It's going to be a corner anyway. He was torn in between spreading it out on the left side or going for a shorted goal. But I think an intelligent striker knows exactly what to do at that last moment. So he just had a slight touch on it. He had 2 options. I think he was trying to carve it right into the net on the other side. And then it takes a deflection. He would have damaged the defenders then if that was the way. Goes out for a corner. And it is for the young Africans. So from the right side, carves in, headed out. They survive another one here. But it's still going to be the young Africans who are building up. They've got a man on the left side if they wanted to start it from that side. He's opening up wide to pull the defenders. The strategy works very well to create some spaces, and now in the box with a chance to go for a shot again. A little slow in the reaction to be able to shoot a goal there, Chico, in my opinion. I think it would have worked better if he had turned and shot. Although, here they come again. Well, still a chance to shoot. Lovely turn here between the 1-2. Okello is right in the right place at the right time. But for the wrong intentions.
That was offside for me from the get-go. I was wondering when that ref would blow the whistle. Offside, no doubt. But what a great build-up once again for Yanga or down that left flank. Look at that. Try to get that little tap into the spaces and play a bit of 1-2. Didn't work out, but as you can see, miles offside. No question Okello would be seeing that flag come up. But what a great opportunity. We're seeing some great triangular build-ups from this Yanga side. It's quite entertaining to see. And so far, I'd say their coach is the happier of the two. A better start for the men in green.
All right, goes out on the field of play. It's going to be a throw-in. This is going to be for the young Africans. Just in case you didn't know, they play in the Kariakoo Derby, the young Africans, and it's been billed as one of the top 5 derbies in Africa. And just because it's named after the locality they come from, it gives it that little touch of belonging. And they usually play it with Simba, the team that is now chasing them on the log in the Tanzanian Premier League table standings, the NBC Premier League. This has been adjudged to be a foul, a very hard tackling. Zidane Ali Sereri, who was involved in that one. One thing about the young African side is they are not afraid to go back and restart the entire game and the build-up from their side. And just as was expected, they're playing a very high line to pressurize. The goalkeeper is miles off his own box, just to be able to help out, playing almost like the last man. Pascal Gaudens Sindo loses here. A lot of things happening off the ball as well. Like I told you earlier on, it's just too much physicality in the game as well, especially from the Yanga side. Trying to cut through the box. This time round, good interception. Moves the ball for the Azam side. But they don't have the numbers up at the front, Chico. They've got to know how to move out with the ball if they want a counter-attack. You need 2 or 3 people for a counter-attack. Well, but if not, then you've got to build from your half.
The press is way too good from this Yanga side. They're barely giving them any space to build for anything. Right now for Azam, it's all about you. We're riding this wave of attack that's coming their way, just trying not to concede. And that's good enough. Once the game settles down a bit for them, perhaps they can look for counterattacks. Right now, everyone is called on deck to just try and stop this wave after wave of green.
I'm a little bit worried that Azam has probably been caught up in the game that Yanga is playing. They're trying to play with the same speed that Yanga is playing. They're trying to go for the counterattack. You need to just play your game and be calm in a game like this to be able to have any results.
Ultimately, that is the ideal situation, but on that pitch, things are very different. Look at this. You see the build-up. They're trying to build up from the behind, slow build-up. But once they get to a certain area of the pitch, a line that Yanga have seemingly drawn that we can't see, then they start pressing and forcing them into those long passes or back passes or side passes, which are ineffective in any particular game. But it's an opportunity for Azam to try and settle down. That's why you're seeing them try and string
You're spot on on that, Chico. You're spot on that. But you notice that when they have the ball and they play it from their side, they stay more on possession than if they try to play as fast as Young Africans. So, again, I think the build-up is well when it started on their side, but they need to have the fulcrum in the midfield. I see Kanute, Malian Sadio trying to get in there to help out. The Malian is preferred because of his height and his dribbling skill in that midfield. A foul will help them to move further forward. And maybe a chance now to see what they've been training on the set pieces. 21 minutes gone. We're playing the 22nd minute. Scoreline is 0-0. The reverse fixture ended at a 0-0. But I tell you, the fans of Simba are today all around Dar es Salaam and in other parts of Tanzania supporting the Azam side. That's because they'd like Azam to bring down at least the point tally that Yanga can be able to put up. And that's just the nature of football. You sometimes pray for a loss for your opponents, even as they're praying for their own successes. It's a difficult situation. I mean,
one man's meat is another man's poison. This is
it's just difficult if you're the one who's receiving the prayers, Chico. I mean, so Simba is praying here that Yanga loses, and Yanga is praying that they win. So if you're the one who's receiving the prayers, who do you work with?
I'm just glad that I'm doing commentary and I'm not in the position of God to answer which prayer and to know which prayer, but yeah, that must be a tough day at the office.
Well, we know that football has put people in trouble, especially coaches. We didn't know it put God in trouble as well. We're not going to have that conversation. So it's Yanga bringing up the build-up again from their side. The goalkeeper, Jigu Diarra from Mali, is becoming very much part of that defense line. So much so that he's part of the dribbling schemes as they come up with the ball. It's looking for an opportunity for a quick break up at the front. They've tried to hit Alon Kelo up at the front, and then they are equally trying to get the right flank to tick and to be able to go for it. But this has ended up with the goalkeeper, Zuberi Foda Masoud, of the Azam side.
This is the second or third time that I'm seeing Duke come in very deep, just ahead of the back four. And you want to see him push forward a little bit more. This is a man who's come up with 5 assists, so he knows how to pick those passes in those spaces. 2 goals, so he's no stranger to finding the back of the net from all the way back there. Highly likely he'll be effective.
Well, they're all trying to just find out how they will click in their positions, and whether or not they can be able to do it effectively is another thing altogether. Again, it's Ili Saliban Ali. It's been so much of the ball for the Azam side. Faisal Salum now into the midfield to Saliman, Malien Sadio, who takes it out to the right side. Tolib Mohammed is involved in this as well. Yes, they're building, they're keeping possession, but now they've got to transition from the midfield to go with it out to try and find a result. But yes, it would be important if you were to slow down the young African side, if you kept a little bit of possession. Comes back to the last man, and again they'll start it off on the left side. Elias Lawi Lamek was involved in it. This is Idi Saleman, loses possession. The 3 men who will be going for it. Okello's trying to go into the midfield. That's a killer pass here for Young Africa as a goalkeeper. Makes himself elastic, and I think he was already offside here. But that killer pass from Alan Okello is why he's got his name written on a good number of goals, 11 for the side, and 7 assists altogether. It was brilliant. I don't know at what point it didn't time the run perfectly. It's marginal offside.
I don't know about that one, Bernard. I don't know about that one. I think the centre back's foot was in front. I think he was onside, and I think that pass is from heaven. No doubt about it. What a great pass from that boy. This is what we're talking about. This is why you want to see Okello and Duke moving a bit further up the pitch because their creativity levels unbelievable. Took 5 assists, Okello 7 assists. This is why. Look at that through ball. My goodness, this will be an entertaining afternoon from Yanga, and hopefully, if they can get themselves into the game, Azam as well.
The Dar es Salaam Derby, round 28 of the NBC Tanzanian Premier League. It's happening today at the Aman Stadium in Zanzibar. It's a very, very physical tackle coming in from Twalib Mohamed Nuru, another man who grew up through the academy of the Azam side. I think the captain needs to have a word with him as well. You don't want to be sent off at a time like this. The team needs you in the last 2 matches that are remaining. But it also shows Maria Aurelio, the man from Angola, that things are going to be tough on that left side. He's scored 7 goals so far. Very rough on that left side of attack. A throw-in. An overhead kick by Lusajo Mwaikenda. Brings it onto the left side for the Azam side. They've got enough wide shots to be able to string the passes to move them from the build-up into the second third. 27 minutes of play gone by. It's 0-0 in the Dar es Salaam Derby, round 28 of the NBC Tanzanian Premier League. Better footwork this time round from Kulasi Yao. It's brought out, but then it's a fair challenge by Faisal Salem. This is Saliban Ali. Good ball back into the midfield. Well, they're backpedaling now, looking for the better places. They need to be able to string the passes, you know, and return passes as they transition. Called Baka. Ibrahim Tula is on the scoreline from a header, out jumping the goalkeeper, who didn't have anyone marking him and will be asking who was supposed to be there. But all the same, it is just the aerial duel that has been won here by Young Africans. And they changed the scoreline here, Chico. It's Young Africans 1 and Azam 0.
Coach Florence Ibenge will be besides himself considering what his defensive player have done. You have a man on the far post. You have another one right next to him. 4 players just watching the ball. Look at this. Cross comes in. They're all ball watching. No look to see who's around them. Easy header. Drifting, teasing cross. Keeper thinking he could come out. No communication. Good header. Back of the net. 1-0. No doubt which team has been the better one, and the scoreline goes on to prove it.
Well, it was going to happen at some point. They overloaded that left side, and so they really just wanted it to work out for them on that side, and it does. And now with a goal to the Young African side, maybe the game will change a bit. The chip into the box, the quick turn, and the header, changing it in favor of the Young African side. 1-0 is the scoreline at the Aman Stadium in Zanzibar. Idi Saliman Ali is getting the long balls that are coming onto the left side, but he needs to be able to control them and bring them back. He's been a lone winger up on that side, needs support to come in, but he's also been provider, Idi Ali. 8 goals to his credit. So he's a man who believes in himself and knows what he can do when he's got possession. Little touch that comes from Himidi Mkami. And then out on the right side for Azam. Good run again down on the right. Zidane trying to bring in the cross, but he has been cut out by Zuzua. He's not very happy with the referee's decision there. The Ivory Coast man was MVP in the Premier League 4 seasons ago. And came 4 seasons ago to he was the MVP in Ivory Coast as well before coming into Young Africans. But he's very unhappy about that decision by the referee, and it's very normal that tempers go very high in a game like this as well. But he's got to calm down and just play his game. A free kick has been given to the Azam FC side. They've pushed in about 5 men to wait for it. They've opted for a quick one to build it up from their side. This is Msindo, tries to send it on to the left. The control here was going to let them down as Elias Lawi Lamek was under pressure to try and pick up that ball, Chico.
Absolutely. Azam will be needing to figure something out. They'll be looking forward to this halftime because in this first half they have had little to no sniff at all in terms of that goal for Yanga. Yanga have been looking solid defensively, sizzling hot going forward. It is a team that you do not want to allow to get into the game. And if there is a moment that they can talk to their team, halftime will be it. And perhaps the second half that is a better showing than this particular one. But so far, it is young Africans who will probably be looking at this one and saying, we can smell victory here. Couldn't score in the first leg, couldn't do anything but chase the game in the cup game. But this one they feel they need to win, and they're showing exactly that.
Oh, the goal coming in late in the first half will be a very good time for them to break. A bad time for the Azam side as they pick up possession again through Msindo, and then back to Idi Saleman Ali. He might be on the wing, but he's the talisman who brings in the crosses. But now they need to be able to position themselves to receive those crosses for him. Otherwise, they're becoming a little bit wasted. And yet he's doing very many runs on that left flank. They need to complement his runs with a good reception and probably a shot towards goal, the Azam side. In the midfield, Kanute, Malien, Sadio. Then out to the right side, again is Zuzua, who was trying to make sure that cuts out the feed that is going to that side. This goes out for a throw-in a safety-first measure by Twalib Mohamed Nuru that sends the ball out for a throw-in. The new rules in the World Cup of the throw-ins as well have ensured that there's fluidity in the game and that very little time is wasted. And for those of you who've been watching the World Cup on Azam HD4, you know that the ball comes in very quickly after it goes out of the field, and there's punishment for staying too long with the throw-in as well. I think sooner than later we'll have to adopt that as well. A little bit of a pain on that boot of Ibra Baka, although he remains outside of the field of play. That turn was not a good turn by Kwasi Yao. What do you make of the header again, Chico?
This is just a brilliant. I could watch this every single day. It's the rising up that he does, slightly uses the defender to push himself a bit higher. The keeper had no business coming out with all those defenders in front of him, but he was like, Mama, they gave me a chance, Mama, I'll take it. And he does.
Mama was just chilling until you brought her into this as well. The boys will always do it for their mother. Is that what you're saying?
You know how it goes. Boys and their mothers. Fathers, we have a tough task, similar to what Azam have this afternoon, right?
Oh, man. This coming just when we were celebrating Father's Day. Chico just decided that he's not giving them any accolades for what they have done. Anyway, the fathers as well do come to the stadium, and they do support their sons in the game of football. And for the Yanga side, they've got a good number of fans in Dar es Salaam, in Tanzania, and also in Zanzibar. And the Kariakoo Derby is the one that pulls in the biggest of crowds. Simba and Yanga play the Kariakoo Derby. Today, it's the Dar es Salaam Derby. And that is Yanga versus Azam. The scoreline in favor of the Yanga side. Barker, the scorer. We're playing 3 minutes of added time. And we've already played 2, so just 1 more minute here. What would you make of the game entirely in the first half, Chico? How do you think the Azam side has played? How do you think the Young African sides have played? No, the attack is coming in. Probably in the very last ball is opening on the left side. A quick touch then has put it off the feet of the striker. Intending to score another goal then. Maria Aurelio Depu of Angola didn't release the ball on time here, and he then gets an injury in the process. He's still in the field of play. It's his teammates on us to put the ball off the field of play to get him to be noticed. But I was asking you about what do you think of the game so far?
Well, I think this game, I'm with the teammates. Get up. Let's get on with the game. It's not any injury that should keep you down that long. We have the opportunity to go up and score another goal with the dying embers of the game. I think sometimes
it's the ethics of the game.
Much.
It's the ethics of the game.
Look at that. Very little on that man. Yes,
you think it's
a
little?
foul. Yes, it probably come down. In fact, I don't even think it's a foul.
It is a foul. Come on, Chico. You can't be that mean to him.
Suddenly, a breath of fresh air and he's feeling good. Listen, it's been a game of one-way traffic. Yanga have been looking so good going forward, and I do agree with you at the beginning, your evaluation. They are controlling the pace of the game. Azam seemingly playing to the tune of the Piper, and that Piper happens to be Yanga, and they're looking good for this lead 100%. Azam need to do a lot of thinking, perhaps a change in formation. I know they were looking to play just one person up front, but maybe some more support in that midfield, allowing Edie to go forward a bit more, will be key.
Mr. Auspicious Dismas has brought this one to an end in the first half of the game, and it's ended up in favor of the Young African side with a goal. Not that the Azam side has not created the chances they have, but every time it was happening in transition, they didn't have enough men to be able to turn it into goal. For the Young African side, they have decided they'll fire from the very first minute, and they have. And they were rewarded in the latter stages of the first half with a goal from Baka, a header towering over every defender and putting the ball in the net. It's not that they want to show off the muscles, but the humidity would require that you expose yourself a little bit just so that you can get a little bit of air coming into it. Ibrahim Abdullah scores in the 41st minute of the game at halftime in the Dar es Salaam derby in the NBC.
Yanga mnacheza kinani sana jamani. Yanga mnacheza kwa shida sana sasa hivi. Sijajua shida ni nini. Yanga mnacheza kwa shida sana. Naweza max sasa hivi bwana jamani.
Dakika za mwisho hizi tusikose hii penati. Umeme umekatika wakati wa penati.
Baba, huko kwingine umeme umekata, kuna giza.
Ndio, sisi tuna uhakika na umeme, si muujiza, ni huduma ya uhakika toka Oceanic Solar.
Umechoka na giza la ghafla? Chagua nishati ya uhakika.
Tupeni mapumziko.
Huduma zetu na vifaa
Yanga anaongoza. Yanga 1, Azam 0.
Vya kuaminika na vina ubora mkubwa. Tunaweka mfumo wako haraka na kwa usahihi. Tunahakikisha unapata umeme wa uhakika mchana na usiku.
Hakika, Oceanic Solar ni suluhisho. Sasa tuna umeme hapa nyumbani wakati wote.
Freezer langu la biashara halizimi. Ubaridi wakati wote. Sisi tumechagua Oceanic Solar.
Huduma ya uhakika kwa biashara na familia yako. Tunapatikana madukani nchi nzima. Chagua Oceanic Solar.
Kila familia inastahili kilicho bora. Kufurahia nyakati bora kwa pamoja.
Play football.
Into the galaxy of greats.
Kila mdundo ni ishara ya upendo. Kumbukumbu nzuri hubaki moyoni. Ubora kwenye kila chaguo. Alitop imetengenezwa Tanzania kwa viwango vya kimataifa.
Naam, ni Kipumbwi Satellite City, mradi wa viwanja vya kimkakati uliopo karibu na bandari ya Kipumbwi, mbuga ya Sadani, soko la samaki na kiwanda cha kukaushia dagaa. Ndio uwekeze Kipumbwi Satellite City iliyosheheni vivutio vya utalii ili watalii kutoka Zanzibar waje kujivinjari, wasielekea kaskazini kutembelea vivutio vinginevyo.
Mradi huu wa viwanja vya Kipumbwi ambao ni kilomita 3 tu kutoka bahari ni kiungo muhimu sana cha usafirishaji baina ya Zanzibar na mkoa wa Tanga, lakini vile vile kufuatia ujenzi wa barabara mpya ya lami itapita pale Kipumbu mpaka Dar es Salaam. Itafungua sana mkoa wetu.
Na huyo ni Balozi Dr. Matilda Salhaburiani, mkuu wa mkoa wa Tanga. Bei ya viwanja vya makazi ni kuanzia milioni 2. Beach plot inapatikana. Kumbuka, kampuni ya Makazi Solution imeshafanya kazi na halmashauri zaidi ya 15 pamoja na kamisheni ardhi Zanzibar. Kwa maelezo zaidi piga simu namba 0750333338.
Halo, naitwa Magembe, ni muuzaji maarufu wa hardware.
Oh, Magembe, karibu sikuhudumie.
Shananga Group. Sisi ni wauzaji na wasambazaji wa vifaa vya ujenzi nchini na nchi jirani. Kwa wenye hardware, miradi midogo hata mikubwa, tupo kwa ajili yako. Karibu jipatie nondo zenye ubora wa BS500, mabati ya mitindo tofauti, bomba za chuma na kadhalika. Pia, Shananga Group ni wazalishaji, wauzaji na wasambazaji wa bidhaa zake zenye chapa ya Oles. Bidhaa kama Oles Gypsum Board zenye ubora hali ya juu, Oles Welding Materials, Oles Walkwood yenye mng'ao halisi na nyingine nyingi. Weka oda yako ya vifaa vya ujenzi na tutakufikia popote ulipo nchini kupitia matawi yetu. Kwa msaada au maulizo, tafadhali tupigie kwa namba 0756500040. Shananga Group, fahari wa ujenzi.
Mkuu wa shule ya sekondari Makongo inayomilikiwa na Jeshi la Ulinzi la Wananchi wa Tanzania JWTZ iliyopo Mwenge Lugalo, Dar es Salaam anawatangazia nafasi za masomo kwa kidato cha 5 mwaka 2026 na 2027 kwa tahasusi za sayansi, sanaa na biashara. Nafasi kwa wanaomia kidato cha kwanza na cha 3 zinapatikana. Nafasi za awali na shule ya msingi kuanzia darasa la kwanza hadi la 6, ufundi stadi, VETA, shule ya michezo, Sports Academy pamoja na masomo ya amali. Pia shule inatoa nafasi za masomo wanaorudia mitihani sita, QT na kituo cha kufanyia mitihani kwa watahiniwa binafsi yani PC. Shule ni ya kutwa na bweni kwa wavulana na wasichana. Fomu za kujiunga zinapatikana shuleni. Kwa mawasiliano piga simu namba 0785657625 au 0715315514 au 0777575989. Wote mnakaribishwa.
Karibu shemeji.
Huyu ndio rafiki yangu Kazoa. Karibu kwenye nyumba yetu mpya. Ina mwaka sasa tangu ikamilike.
Mimi ndio maji kwenye mtungi. Tunajua kama ukweli. Basi ama sijio.
Karibu katika dunia ya ubora. King Lion tunatengeneza paa la ndoto yako. Yana uwezo wa kustahimili hali zote za hewa. Unapata mabati yenye rangi mbalimbali katika muundo wa mgongo mdogo, mpana na kigae. Pia utapata bati nyeupe, yani alu zinc kwa bei nafuu. Chagua mabati ya King Lion, ni imara, yenye rangi ya kudumu na hayashiki kutu.
Mume wangu, sasa tunaweza kusherehekea.
Safi sana.
Shemeji,
unataka kutangaa ubora wa bati za King Lion, unataka stonke wangu.
Tunapatikana nchi nzima. King Lion. Best quality, best price, best service.
Sunda, wauzaji wa bidhaa bora za sola na umeme. Sunda Solar Panel, imara zenye moto mwingi, hujaza betri kwa haraka hata kama kuna mawingu. Sunda Solar Battery, betri original zenye moto mwingi na zinadumu kwa muda mrefu. Sunda Flat TV, ni TV bora na imara zenye picha angavu, zinapatikana kuanzia inchi 15 mpaka inchi 55. Sunda Subwoofer zenye mdundo na sauti kubwa za saizi mbalimbali kwa bei nafuu. Pia Sunda wana vitu vingine kibao kama speaker, radio, majiko ya gesi, fridge, freezer, balbu za umeme na vingine vingi vyenye ubora wa viwango vya juu. Sunda bora.
Naam, hayo ndio matokeo mpaka wakati mapumziko katika mechi 8 zinazopigwa mpaka muda huu. Yanga Sports Club wao wakiwa wanaongoza goli 1-0 dhidi ya Azam FC. Mtibwa Sugar wakiwa nyuma kwa wakiwa mafungwa goli 1 na Simba Sports Club. Pamba Jiji nao wakiwa nyuma kwa Mbeya City. KMC wakiwa nyuma kwa Namungo anaongoza 2-1. Fountain Gate na Mashujaa hamna anayeongoza. TRA na Coastal Union wote ni 0-0. Dodoma Jiji 0, JKT 0. Singida Black Stars 2, Tanzania Prisons wakiwa wanaendelea kupigiliwa msumari, wao pia wakiwa hawajapata kitu. Matokeo ambayo yalikuwa yanaangaliwa yanaweza au mpaka hivi sasa yanatubadilishia msimamo wetu wa ligi kwa namna ambavyo ilikuwa pale mwanzoni, kwa maana ya kwamba kuna timu zimeondoka eneo moja mpaka kwenda eneo lingine. Tuangalie kwa kifupi mpaka hivi sasa matokeo haya mpaka wakati mapumziko yamebadilisha vipi msimamo wetu wa ligi.
Ya, unaweza kuona Mbeya City kuongoza kwa goli moja na kumpeleka hadi nafasi ya 13. Ni sehemu ambayo imeleta hayo mabadiliko, lakini kuongoza kwa Simba, kuongoza kwa Yanga, kuongoza kwa Black Stars hakujabadilisha chochote kwenye msimamo wa ligi. Na Mungu naye kuongoza, unamuona sehemu ambapo amesogea kwenye alama 30 kama mechi itaisha namna hii. Kwa hiyo ni matukio ya timu chache ndio ambayo yamebadilisha msimamo, lakini juu kule bado msimamo ni ule ule kulingana na timu zote kuwa zinaongoza kwenye mechi zao.
Naona na Mungu ametoka nafasi moja ya 11 ameenda nafasi ya 10. Nimeona Mbeya City ametoka 15 amekwenda 13. Nimeona Tanzania Prisons alikuwa nafasi ya 14 ameshuka moja baada ya kuwa anaongozwa na Singida 2-0. Nimeona Mtibwa na Sukari ameshuka baada ya kuwa nafasi ya 12. Kwa hiyo hiyo ni ongoing standing, sio? Baada ya matokeo, lakini kwa Yanga na Simba points zimeongezeka, nafasi ni zile zile. Azam wanaongozwa nafasi ile ile, points ndio hazijaongezeka. Singida zimeongezeka alama 3 ile iko pale pale.
Well, inatupa tu nafasi ya kuongea. Tunazungumzia kinara wa ligi kwa maana kwamba Young Africans wakiwa wametoka kupoteza katika mchezo wa FA wanaongoza kwa goli moja. Sasa tuzungumzie ile goli Kiemba. Nini ambacho kimechangia goli hili kwa asilimia kubwa?
Goli hili unaweza ukaona hakuna tofauti na magoli ambayo yalifungwa kwenye mchezo uliopita. Yalikuwa yote ni magoli ambayo yalihitaji wachezaji kutumia vichwa kuruka na kuweza kufunga. Unaweza kuona tu hapa kosa ni timing ya goalkeeper kutoka pale alipo na kwenda kwenye mpira, kwa sababu kama unatoka kwenye goli asilimia zako ni zaidi ya 99 kwamba mpira unakwenda kuugusa na kuupoteza mwelekeo. Lakini utaona walinzi walikuwa na uwezo wa kuruka na Ibrahim Hamad, lakini goalkeeper alikuwa ameshatoka golini. Kwa hiyo hata kama ameugusa kwa udogo kiasi gani, bado mpira ule ulikuwa unaweza kuelekea golini. Hebu fikiria kama vile ndivyo ambavyo Hamad angepiga ule mpira na yeye angekuwa golini. Alikuwa anaokota na kuisave timu yake. Kwa hiyo ile goli unaweza moja kwa moja ukamtupia lawama goalkeeper kwa kufanya maamuzi ambayo hayakuwa sahihi kulingana na tukio lilivyo.
Na tuangalie pia kwa upande wa wekundu wa Msimbazi kwa haraka kutokana na wenyewe jinsi goli walipata kwa hatua ya penalty. Kwanza penalty ilikuwa ni sahihi?
Ilikuwa penalty. Beki wa Mtibwa kuweza kucheza mpira na badala yake alicheza miguu ya Shumari Kapombe. Kwa hiyo mwamuzi wakati Abdulwaji alikuwa sahihi kabisa. Na Shumari kwenye matukio namna hii amekuwa mzuri sana. Kupata penalty za hivyo kufika hapa huwa yuko very composed. Anajua kimgusa kwa mwendo wake na wewe umedhamiria kuja kwa nguvu, hiyo contact inatosha kumfanya kwa foul. Kwa hiyo hapa amemwini referee vizuri na imekuwa penalty ambayo Rushan Derok amefunga na kuwapa Simba uongozi.
Wanasema kwamba ameonekana kuwa na kitu alichokizoea na upigaji wake wa penalty unaonekana kuwasumbua makipa ambao ameenda kuwaona mara kadhaa.
Kwenye penalty ukiweza kuwa mtulivu na ukarelease ile pressure uko nayo, possibility ya kufanya maamuzi makubwa ni kubwa sana. Kwa Rushan ukimwona kwenye penalty huwa anatulia, anamwangalia kwanza kipa, then anachagua kupiga kwa utulivu sana. Na hili kwa sababu ni good passer pia. Kwa hiyo maana kwake inakuwa rahisi. Angalia hata mabeki wa Spain wanapopiga penalties, ni kama wanampasia mtu mpira tu. Anachagua engo yake, afu anaburuza sana chini. Kwa hiyo kipa inakuwa ngumu sana kwa nafasi yako.
Kiemba Azam Max inasikika inatumika sana sasa hivi. Kule Zanzibar, Azam Max iko mkononi, pale Morogoro pia. Nyinyi mlikuwa na radio au mlikuwa mnafanya nini?
Radio. Lakini ilikuwa radio.
Unapata matukio kwa radio.
Wasubiri radio waseme huko ngapi.
Sasa kuna Azam Max.
Sasa hivi kuna Azam Max, watu wanaweza akawa wanaangalia mechi zaidi ya moja sehemu alipo. Kwa hiyo ni jambo ambalo linaonesha tunasogea.
Naam, sasa ni dakika 15 kipindi cha pili tunaenda kuzishuhudia, na huo ni uwanja wa Aman kule Zanzibar ambapo unapigwa mchezo wa Yanga Africans na kukaribisha Azam FC.
Kama kawaida yao. Nataka atoe sauti. Jamaa. Mechi ni Yanga na Azam. Je, Yanga atafanikiwa kufanya jambo zuri?
Welcome back to the Aman Stadium in Zanzibar, the venue for what is popularly known as the Dar es Salaam Derby, only this time being played in the island of Zanzibar. The 21 times that the teams have met has come into different results. We are talking about the 31-time champions, the young African side, playing Azam FC, who've won it only once, and who are third on the Premier League table standings at the moment. The NBC table standings have Yanga leading it with 66 points, and Simba in second position with 64, and then Azam with 58 points. Azam has got some firepower on the bench as well. They've got Aish Salum Manula there. They've got Jepte Bola Kitambala as well on that bench if they wanted to make any changes. They've got the Colombian Yalso David Fuentes, who's coming back from injury as well. I think they're making a very early substitution here. The Azam side, they've brought Nathaniel Rafael Chilambo very early in the second half, coming in as a substitute. It just tells you that they probably have realized where they were going wrong in the first half, and they would want to make the changes to that as well. But we've seen a young African side that was in a rush earlier on to try and score an early goal, and then settle back into overloading the left side and trying to cut in. They haven't used Alan Okello as well in the later part of it, but then they got the goal through Ibrahim Abdullah in the 41st minute of the game, a header soaring above the defenders and into the net, and that is what separates the two sides. So we're into the second half now. It's round 28 of the National Bank of Kabas Premier League in Tanzania. And it's coming to you live on Azam Sports, as are the other 7 matches that are being played around the Republic of Tanzania in the Azam, in the NBC Premier League. And all the channels on the Azam media are beaming these matches, so you can catch up with all the action as it's unfolding, especially with the last 2 rounds already being played. So Chilambo is coming from Msindo in the lineup for the Azam side. And again, it will be a question of the Azam side looking for the goals in this game to try and match up with what Young Africans has. And so we'll see whether or not that change is going to be effective in today's game. So it's the only change that has been made in this one. Chico, what's your expectation of this second half now that we're already into it?
Well, it's hopefully not more the same, but it looks like it could be just here.
Well, it's changing very quickly, isn't it? Prince Dube goes up very fast in an attack here. And again, almost catching the Azam defense not ready. It happens as well in football that teams get up very quickly. They get out very quickly to try and go for goals. But you were saying that you expect them to build up again as they did, or you're going to expect the same kind of quick transition coming from Young Africans?
Well, you expect a lot more from this Azam side. They'll try and dominate and get some grip on the game in terms of that midfield performance. They were heavily reliant on that left flank, Edie and Pascal Msindo trying to be brought in. It wasn't successful, and if they can get some of those crosses in, then perhaps the aerial threat could be key for them. Set pieces also a part of the game. Early on, you can see they're trying to switch from wing to wing, changing of flags, trying to force this Azam side to lose shape, because in the first half, this Yanga side to lose shape in the first half, Yanga were looking very good. Already a bit of physical aspect to the game. They're trying to disrupt his flow. Idiali was the sensational player in the first half. I think he was the bright spot for this Azam side in the very little that they had to offer in the first half.
Well, it's going to be detrimental to the Azam side if they lose Idi Suleiman Ali. He's, like I said earlier on, a talisman, and he's been providing the crosses from the left side. Plus, he's the obvious pinpoint man on the wings whenever you want to move forward. But Nzegeli and the rest of the team have been not very kind to him. The coach of Azam, Florent Ibenge, knows that he needs to tweak his team at the moment to be able to get them to, function up at the front. The caretaker coach, Abdihamid Moulin of the young African side, is equally worried because one goal is a very small cushion to sit on. So that sets up a very nice clash in the second half of the game, and one again that will tell us who is getting the better of the game here. Azam clearing out, but only out for a throw-in. It's going to be given to the young African side. A quick throw-in that has been taken by Mohamed. Well, spirited effort to try and catch up onto that ball. I was waiting to see whether Mohamed would go in there. He's gotten a man of the match prize once, but he's got 3 goals to his credit. This man was at Simba for 14 years before moving, so you can't imagine the loyalty that he had on the other side. And then he moves over to the arch rivals. It's the kind of stuff that makes big news in a soccer world. And in every country, whenever you switch from the arch rivals of the major derbies, it becomes a very big story. Not expecting that the second half will bring the tidings that both sides would want to get in a game of this caliber, but it's got to be won in the midfield for Azam, because that is where the transition has been fizzling off once it gets up at the front.
I expect to see a lot more physicality in this one. A flurry of fouls already. Yes, it will be a bit more disruptive. Want to see more of Zidane. He's tending to drift into the middle instead of staying on that right flank, bringing the crosses, which then forces them to spread wide to the left for Idi.
Well, they've got a good one on the right side. It's a big cross. Too much effort on that one. Goes all the way to the other side. I don't think players sometimes know exactly how much energy they possess when they go into a cross like that one. But the overlaps have been doing well from the right side for the Yanga side. And seems like the second half now is going to be focused on an overload on that right side. Here comes Azam into the midfield. Good to know that Idi Suleiman Ali is back on his feet. This is going to be an easy one to the captain. Kenda on the right side, and to Hamid Maumkami, a man who's gotten himself into literally every move that the Azam side was making. Back to Maumkami again, and opting to open up the flanks to try and stretch the defense of the young African side. This is Ali again, left foot. Cross into the area, that's a lovely header, and that's a lovely save as well. Faisal Salum Abdallah shows a little bit of how he has been able to score the goal there for the side. Or was it Zidane then?
Oh my goodness,
it's Faisal.
What a beautiful flick there from Faisal, beautiful cross, but you've got to give credit to Diarra. What a strong right hand, stretches, taps the ball over the crossbar, sets his team up for a better defensive display.
Here is a corner. And it out quickly enough. The shot! Straight to the goalkeeper's hands. But on target. And with power as well. And Azam is finally is firing on all the cylinders. From the header to the shoulder. The goalkeeper, Jigui Diarra, the man here, for once, looks a little bit troubled, Chico. He didn't expect this firepower to come in so early. We're only playing the 52nd minute of the game.
This is what I was talking about. I was telling you, a lot of pressure flying on that left flank where Idi and Sido are being forced to play. I wanted to see more of Zidane on this right side, because if you hug the flank, that means you stretch out this Yanga side and allowing Waikenda to maybe overlap, which is something he has not done. So when you go into the middle, you create more problems and more numbers in terms of defense for Faisal and John Jack. We want to see this Azam side spread the game a bit wider.
Here is Ali. Here is Ali again. And Ali has just got to know when to release the ball. That's all that is lacking. Release it slightly early, especially when you're on the transition. And now he's not going to fall back. There's no foul here as Mr. Respicious Dismas allows play to continue. Picked up in the midfield. An easy loss of ball here. They shouldn't allow that to happen. Duke Abuya just picked it so easily and gave it back to his own teammates. Now they start the build-up from their side. Long ball again, trying to hit the front with speed. This one sent off the field of play by the captain. Overreaching and simply taking it out of possession. Yanga have got the knack to be able to build back whenever they feel they're not opening it up as they would have liked to. And that's a very positive prowess on their side. Sometimes you've got to move back if you want to jump a big trench. You've got to move back and come with the speed that you need. I think that's what they're doing every time. Although Pacome Zouzoua is giving them some very good width on the left side every time they have an overlap. One thing you have to say about Yanga, Chico, is that they are able to actually stretch the defenses both on the right and on the left. Here is another through ball and running right in front of the defenders here. Looking for a chance to be able to bring in the cross, and I think he's boxed himself out this time round, hasn't he?
Going nowhere there. He had two players around him, surrounding him, easy to defend from this Azam side. He should have turned back, should have looked for more support. No one was happening. Easy foul there. What is he thinking? Pulling his attackers, going nowhere. Put yourself on the radar of the referee now. Two more tackles like that, you find yourself with a needless yellow card. Look at that. That's just lazy pressing.
Prince played before for Azam for 4 seasons. I think he's known to these players very well, and went into it with a little bit of a buddy attitude, friends forever. But he's playing for the opposing side today, so like I said before, he is the enemy. He's got 9 goals so far, Dube, so he's a man that's dangerous equally. There's a foul right in front of the referee here. Happily, this game has still remained very clean. At least Mr. Respicious Dismas, the center referee, has his cards in his pocket, has not thought about dishing them out at any moment. But these unnecessary fouls will, like you say, Chico, will cost the team a little bit should they have the repercussions. And that's what they need to worry about.
Absolutely. It's almost too early for them to be fatigued. It's pretty much possibly disrupting the flow of the game for Yanga, at least when that foul there. But for Azam, they need to be a lot more careful. They're already training, getting themselves into trouble is not a good idea. Here's an opportunity for Yanga.
Zuberi Foba will come into the picture now. It's chipped onto the right side by Zouzoua, and they've lost it again on that side. Ali is very instrumental to the Azam side. Gets the return ball and in full flight as well. Plays it out on the right. That's the progressive transition that we were talking about earlier on. Waikenda has it. He's brought it to the middle. Just a little bit too much power on that one to try and get it to Zidane. Well, he could have looked, Chico, couldn't he?
Look at where Ali is. Look at where Edie is finding himself. He's had to drift into the right side, leaving the left flank where all the balls are. Azam have completely clogged that up, so he's trying to spread the pitch by coming to the right and trying to support his team. Something has to give for this Azam side. Perhaps Ibenge will be looking at it and thinking, what else can I change apart from that substitution?
56 minutes of play, and it's 1-0 in favor of Yanga. Again, good ball down on the left side, looking for a cutback in a 45. Brilliantly done, and the goalkeeper comes off his line. It's good to see Jigui Diarra being pushed out a couple of times to make those daring saves. He's been a little bit too comfortable, meaning that the Azam side have not been opening them enough times. Pedro Pacome Zouzoua misses to correct on this one. Would have been a chance on the counter-attack. That's the tactic that is being used all the time by the Yanga side. Once the attack has gone onto the young African side, there is always a counter-attack, and they've got to watch out for that.
Tries to take it down with his stronger right foot instead of using his left foot. Perhaps, maybe practicing using that left foot would be quite key for him, but ultimately, you're seeing a better Yanga side in the first few minutes of this second half than we saw in the entirety of the first, and it will be a bit of a concern for this Yanga side and Abdi, their head coach. But here they come again, trying to build through that middle spot, which, to their credit, Azam have really
Here is another attack.
Again, they can't get through the middle, so they're forcing them to go wide.
It's being lost very quickly in transition in the midfield. They really need to know how to hold it as well to build it from there. I always insist that what got you here is not what will get you there. So what got you the goal in the first half might not be exactly what will get you the goal in the second half. You need to read the mood and read the room as well. And I think Azam now is holding onto the ball much longer and building up from their own half, which is a better tact as the through ball comes in now onto the left side. Can they be able to change it to bring it onto the right foot cross? Well, he veered off nicely with that intention. Is coming to Ali. Idi Suleiman Ali spreads it onto the right side now. And Faisal didn't give it enough energy on it. So they lose the possession again easily. And Yanga, well, would equally have lost concentration. Lost by Zegeli. It's a costly one here. It could have resulted into a difference in the table standings. And yes, Jean-Jacques has got a reason to be unhappy with himself for just not putting the ball in the net. In that instance, you're going to rue the chances when you look at them later on, Chico. And you'll wonder why you didn't score early.
And guess who brought the cross in? Edie coming off that left flank. He is slowly drifted into the right area and coming through with a brilliant cross. It looks like he's had his day. Jean-Jacques is taken off. The last opportunity, last touch of the game, just going wide for the strike.
Well, I think he's a natural right-footed player, and because he's a little bit lanky and his height as well, he just couldn't, couldn't carve himself into that that posture to be able to put the ball in the net. He's been substituted by Jepte Kitambala from DRC, the man who's got 12 goals to his credit. And by the time he was coming to the Tanzanian Premier League, he was the second top scorer in their league. So maybe that will help them along, as the Azam side will be organizing themselves to see how they'll benefit from this. A lot of instructions, of course, and a lot of talk will be on what happened on this. But for Abdi Hamid Moalina, he's got to see what is going to change now, because fatigue is also creeping in.
I think more so they're concerned with that substitution right there. You've removed a tall, lanky player because the crosses haven't been coming in, so he's not been fed properly. And you bring in the man who was the second top scorer just last season on 12 goals, not had the best of seasons this time round, but this is an opportunity for him to make his name and claim a stand of fame against his
obvious foul here. Kanute Lodian said you're right in front of the referee. There's no way he was going to avoid that kind of card. Simply pulling down Pierre Max Zekeli and right in front of the referee is not the kind of tack that you wanted about this time. I think it's because they realized that there was a speed there. That's the first time. The second time is even more visible, just tagging on him. You don't escape with that. And it wasn't an obvious goal-scoring opportunity, but still, you'll get carded for that. So, yellow card to Kanute. It's going to be a free kick that will be given to the young African side. You put yourself in even more grave danger when you give out these kind of free kicks in front of goal. And so it forces Zuberi Foba to organize himself better. Has matured well from the academy into the senior team and is the first choice goalkeeper for the Azam FC side. That is currently third on the Premier League table standings. They're followed by Singida. And then TRA United and JKT Tanzania. And then Pamba in that order. So it's going to be a free kick to the young African side. We'll see what they do with the set-piece situation with Pierre Max Zegeli quickly taking it. But they organized it a little bit in a hurry, and it doesn't work out for them. For some reason, they've not been feeding Okello up on the front at the moment. I think they've taken all the attention away from him. Here is Ali again. It's going to be a foul that will be given to the Azam FC side. He's not very well endowed with the body, talking about Ali, but what he doesn't have in terms of physique, he makes it up with the tact that he's got in this game. So he gets the better of Duke Abuya in that instance and comes away with a foul that has been taken already. Faisal. Well, if Faisal doesn't do so well with the ball up at the front, he might as well lose the name Toto. What do you think, Chico? Because it's affectionately known as Fei Toto. But when you pick up nicknames, then you must live up to them as well. If you don't, then you have to change. He had one opportunity earlier on in the game in which he could have changed the scoreline for the Azam side, but he didn't. To me, Chico, this is a better build-up. You build from your half, keep the possession. It stops the marauding forwards of the young African side, getting onto the ball and running away with the transition and the fast break. But that's if you don't get dispossessed.
Well, this is pretty much the same thing they were doing in the first half, isn't it? Especially the first part of the first half, the early 25 minutes. They are being pressed hard, so going forward is not an option. That's why the wings, the flanks, like an opportunity here. Pass the ball a bit quicker, send it to the wide flanks. On the left, Ali is just standing there calling for the ball. They're not seeing him. Why? Because the spaces that they are used to being given are unavailable. So it's a pass to the side, pass to the back. Yanga will be happy to deal with that all day.
Well, ultimately, they top it just into the box, and Yanga pick it up again easily. There's a little deflection here that sends it out for a throw-in for the young African side. Fatigue will be settling in as well, and we're going towards the proverbial 70th minute of the game. These two teams have met 28 times. Yanga has won 21 times. They've drawn 6 and lost just 1 in 15 home matches and 13 away matches. It's a very interesting statistic. Azam have won it 15 times, drawing 11 and losing once in this fixture. But the most important fixture is the reverse fixture that ended in a 0-0, and now they begin to make the changes as well. The younger side, and Okello, like I said, was not being fed, has also been substituted. They bring in Mohamed Demaro Kabara in to try and fill that gap and probably put in some fresh legs as well in the game. Quickly picked up by Mao Kami. That sometimes would result into injuries, but the referee says it was a fair challenge as Talib Mohamed came in very hard on Zuzua. So Azam steadily coming into play and into more position as well. The scoreline is still in favor of young Africans at 1-0. A 41st minute goal by the man they like to call Baka, Ibrahim Dula Hamad. Again, right in front of the penalty area. Ultimately picked up by Zegeli, and a foul again committed by Amid Baumkami. It's going to be a free kick for young Africans. There's a tendency to go in for the very hard tackles in the midfield. I think on the realization that if you let the midfield flow and the speed to come from there on the young African side, you're most likely to lose anything in that game, in that ball, and you might as well be punished for it. Decide to go to the right side, but a very high ball that was not going to be of benefit to anyone. I think Dube wasn't going to get onto that one, so it goes off the field of play for a throw-in. The confidence on the Azam side slowly getting into the game and allowing them the luxury of transitioning majestically into the midfield. Wow, they again try to use that middle, and then this is what you worry about, the counter-attack here. Good touch by Zegeli. Not afraid to bring the ball to the defenders, not afraid to commit himself.
As a coach, you're probably more worried about that lackluster pass, almost desperate and hopeful. Just swing the ball and hope someone runs into it. When you lose it, you find yourself on the back foot. Especially if you lose it in the bad area, then you really find yourself in trouble. That's a better pass.
It's out on the right, though, and a little bit too long, and will not be of any benefit. It needs to be pinpoint, and then it's got to be measured for anybody who's got the speed up at the front. So it's gone out for a goal kick. It is for the young Africans. Not to worry at all.
Twalibu apologizes there, but it was a fantastic decision. That is a better option. The execution may be in question, but the decision opened up this younger side, and you'll be seeing a lot more of those kind of passes to the flanks, hopefully swing in some of those crosses, and the man of the moment will be this particular moment. And you can see 1, 2, 3 players watching out for Edie, just trying to make sure that he doesn't get as much space to do as much damage as he's potentially able to do. Lazy foul there.
That has been picked up by the Azam side. Again, it's Ali who's got it out on the left side. They got more men now. They're trying to overload the left side most of the time. This is Nkami. And then Faisal gets it out onto the right side. The same attempt to try and cut it back. And Moikenda just doesn't manage to. Young Africans will pick it up again. The recovery of the ball is quick enough on the Azam side. I think the confidence has crept back as they now decide to play it on the left. Tolib has left it onto the left. Kanute has been playing very reservedly since receiving the yellow card. Now that loss is the one you have to worry about, the loss of possession. You've got to keep that possession if you're coming into that final third on your side, if you want to show a little bit of confidence. But a loss of it becomes disastrous.
Absolutely, Bernard, but I do agree with this instance. Him trying to take on some players. He has great cover in the back, 2 or 3 players. He is the winger on that side. Absolutely has every right to try and find his way through some of those spaces.
Very good control. Coming up by Maria Aurelio. He's got it into the box now.
That's a penalty right there.
He had the ball, yes, but he could have moved in. But when you see it in sequence, you will know that the moment he was into the box, it was on his mind that he was going to go down. So Maria Aurelio, Depu from Angola, 7 goals to his credit, gets the referee, Respicious Tispas, to whistle for a penalty. And what follows is also a yellow card to the goalkeeper's very Foba rather. Here it is again. He is being counted down. And you see he's not touching the ball at that moment. He's already decided he's going to go down by the time Tualiba is coming to him. And even his body is angled towards Tualiba. From where the referee is seeing it, well, he sees it as a penalty.
Bad defending, to be honest with you, Bernard. Lawi can complain all he wants. He does get a touch of the ball, yes, but he has to go through the player. Had no business going down. Once you go down as a defender, anything can happen. The referee can see it one way or another. There will be complaints as to whether he got the ball or not. He did, but he went through the player when you had Lawi coming up on your flank to support you. No business giving away that penalty.
There's another yellow card there. I think there's a lot that is going on there. The players are not happy. I think Idi Suleiman also is throwing words at the referee. Chico, there'll be no discussion about whether the defender got the ball or not. He did get the ball, okay? And there's no discussion about that. From the replay, you can see that he got the ball. It's just that the referee, from his angle, I think what he saw could have been a tackle and a penalty that has been awarded after Maria Aurelio has been brought down. But we are looking at 2 different, standards of refereeing. And I'm not saying that Respicious has not done well. But we've seen this in the World Cup matches that are going on, and probably a review sometimes showing a totally different thing. Unfortunately, we do not have the benefit of the VAR here, and it's a penalty that has been awarded to Young Africans after Maria Aurelio goes down in the box. A chance for them to be able to change the scoreline here.
I have to jump in here and say 2 things. First, I think that was a penalty all day, even if you review that as many times. He goes through the player, there's contact before he gets the ball. But I do love when Edie was losing his cool, you could see there Nathaniel Chilambo just trying to calm him down. He's come on as a substitute. Leadership skill, relax, stop talking. You already earned yourself a yellow card. Don't get us into more trouble than we already are in.
Yep, that's leadership right there. Not wanting trouble. They've replaced immediate Mount Kami. And the penalty now. And it's Aurelio himself who puts it in the net. Young Africans getting their 2nd goal of the match here from the Angolan importer, who's twice been named man of the match, and who already had 7 goals, now making it 8 and increasing its tally in the NBC Tanzania Premier League. NBC Tanzania Premier League, much to the delight of the fans at the Aman Stadium in Zanzibar. And obviously in Dar es Salaam and in Tanzania mainland as well, there is a celebration to that goal as Young Africans now look like they are moving closer to taking 3 points from this match. A match that is also being watched intently by the Simba fans who are banking on Azam to be able to pull points away from the Simba side. from
That
the
is
Yanga
what I'm
side.
talking about. Hands on the player, comes through his midsection. Easy penalty. Speaking of easy penalties, how about that one for a goal? Just slots it in. The keeper saw it, but the power in that one was unstoppable. Their dancing will be unstoppable. The points that they are accruing as they head for the title, they seem unstoppable. This is dangerous for Azam now. This is horrible for Simba fans wherever they are.
2-0 is the scoreline. And Laurindo Aurelio scores in the 73rd minute from a penalty. And that will put a lot of pressure on Azam again to try and get themselves into the score chart. It will just spur on the young African side to moving further up. It's a throw-in that has been given to Azam. I think they've made a substitution again. Kanute has exited the field of play. It's about the 4th substitution that they have made very quickly. Maybe so that they can have some presence in the midfield. Stylish play to try and get possession, not working out. And Abdul Suleiman is another man who's just come in as a substitute a couple of minutes ago. So even if they manage to control the midfield now, they have to contend with a lot of speed that comes from the forwards on the young African side. It's really devastating when they're moving up at the front. Again onto the wing. Aurelio has been operating on that side. It's from that side that he entered the box and from which he earned the penalty. Just about 15 minutes and a half in regular time remaining. The scoreline firmly in favor of the defending champions of the NBC Tanzanian Premier League. The Azam side needed to replicate exactly what made them come in for a draw in the first leg. But unfortunately, the young African side came in with a different plan altogether, trying to go for the early goals, destabilizing the defenses, and ultimately disrupting the midfield. They're just now trying to come back into the midfield. Long ball to try and pick a striker up at the front. Ali's already in it, but he's out-muscled onto the ball. The referee gives a free kick from that foul by Zua.
Just want to talk a bit about that phase of long ball you were just talking about right now. Why go through straight down the middle? We've seen it happen once or twice where they set it a bit wider and then swing it the in-swinger, and that causes more problems. When you send it direct, it's so easy. That straight channel is easy to defend any single time. Make the defense shift, make them work, and you might have a shot at it.
Good idea to try and bring it in through the flanks as well. This is a touch of the goalkeeper, but he picks up the loose ball as well. It would work very well if they brought it in from the sides, because they stretch the goalkeeper and the defense as well and have space to be able to work it out. I think Tigui Diarra is signaling that he's in a little bit of pain from that bump when the ball came into his area. Once the goalkeeper touches the ball, you have no business touching him, but play continued at that moment. Like I said earlier on, it's the latter stages of the match here, and tempers do flare about this time. There's absolutely no reason why the defenders would be talking to the referee like that, but you see the captain of the side, Waikenda, bumping onto the goalkeeper, and that's what was getting him the pain.
Had every right to go up for that. There's no foul there whatsoever. The referee knew it, but the keeper, all he's doing is simply trying to slow down the game. There's no doubt that Jigui has seen that Azam are trying to quickly get back into the game, so he has decided, I'll go down, slow things down, will control the tempo of the game. It makes the Azam side a bit more frustrated because they want to get into the game, get their flowing going. This is one of the reasons you've seen on the world stage FIFA moving to stop players from buying time. Now the goalkeeper is different, but it's the same intent.
Well, Ali again with 2 pairs of green stockings, trying to cut him down, let the ball roll off the field of play, but they don't realize they have the last touch, so it becomes a corner for the Azam side. The 2 players thought that they had nicely taken the ball back to themselves, Mohamed and Zuzua. And now they're bringing in the other man who scored a good number of goals for the side, Mudatili Abasa. 3 times man of the match in the NBC Premier League and 9 goals to his credit. I think they want him to go and do a little bit more than what Maria Aurelio has already done in this game. Maria Aurelio himself with 1 goal from the penalty after having entered the box from the left side and given the responsibility to convert it into a goal. Here is a corner. Nicely weighted, and this one takes the crossbar. A chance at a bicycle kick and to try and score a classic goal. This doesn't work out for the side. Yaya Zaidi Omari wanted to be a superstar with that kind of kick. Try and put the ball into the net. Happens so quickly sometimes, doesn't it?
What a beautiful cross. Tries to do a bicycle kick there. Doesn't find the back of the net. But then Misajo Moikenda should have done much better with that second one. The defender fumbles that one, desperately trying to clear. It should have been much better.
So, well, very first time we're seeing them close to the goal area, the Azam side. Now again picking it up in the midfield. They've organized themselves better in front of goal, especially the midfielders, but it's all revolved around Idi Saliman Ali. Now better turn on